I'm not really sure that there's like a point where I didn't know Christ in my life. I spent a lot of time growing up when I would go to church with my grandpa. He's a very devout Catholic. And I do remember going to church with him, but we weren't regular churchgoers. But there was always just a little bit of faith. But I feel like when I was younger, it's almost like I was trying to deny that there was God because I didn't want to answer to my actions. I made a lot of selfish choices as a teenager and actually into young adulthood. And a lot of it was what felt good in the moment. So I wasn't like a bad person, but I definitely made a lot of questionable choices growing up. There's a couple of moments where I decided to give my life to Christ. The biggest one is when Chris and I had our first child, our daughter Iris. That was when I gave birth to her. That was the undeniable moment that God is here, God is with you. You cannot ignore him. Unfortunately, moving forward from that point, it was, okay, God, I need a favor. I need help. I need you to help us through this decision or this situation. And then when it came time that Chris and I decided we wanted to have a second child, we had some trouble conceiving. And I called on God. I was like, listen, we really want this child. Please help us. Please, and it really still did take some time, but it was all in his time, which is really great. We finally did get pregnant with our son, Billy, and it's interesting. That was kind of the moment that I stopped praying daily. And I was filled with so much anxiety over having a healthy pregnancy and having a safe delivery. And I turned to God again, and I just asked him to carry us through the pregnancy, have a safe pregnancy, delivery, and he saw us through. And I feel like that's when I really started to connect with God, that he was keeping us safe. And again, when I gave birth, I felt him there. I felt like he was protecting us, carrying us through, and that was the moment that I couldn't deny it any longer. So I feel like that was my turning point for knowing that Christ was in my life. It was really interesting too, because Chris, he knew there was a God, but he didn't want to believe it for quite some time. So it was November of last year, so our son was 1.5 years, so I spent a lot of time secretly holding in my faith, which is very, very strange, but it's how it worked. And then when he came home and he was like, I'm gonna read my Bible. He came home and he started reading his Bible after work, and then he told me, he's like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna start going to church. We're gonna have our faith. And I was so excited because I had been praying for that for so long, for his beliefs to align with mine. It was really incredible. His brother and his wife, they have been praying for this moment for us for so long, and I feel like they are very influential in our lives and our decisions to give our life to Christ. They have been so helpful. The decision to follow Christ has made a huge difference in our lives because I feel like Chris and I are far more patient as parents, as well as just with everything that happens in our life, because we know that there is a reason, there's a greater plan at work. We know that no matter what, if something bad or negative happens, we are taken care of. We're not stressing out over just the littlest things in life anymore. And I feel like we see things much brighter and we see somewhat of a bigger picture. I don't think we get to see the whole picture, but it's so much different. And I feel like our life is far more positive since we have made the decision to follow Christ. It's only human nature where it's easier for us to forgive. It's easier for us to kind of let go of things that are they're not the most important thing. I think there was a sermon a couple of weeks ago. Dr. Jim Dunn, he made the point of, is this problem something that you want to carry into eternity? And I really, truly, like, that one has really stuck with me. And that's what I think about when we have something not great happen. Is that the problem that I want to take with me into eternity? And I think that is, again, it just helps to know that Christ is always on your side. I made the decision to be baptized because, well, first of all, I've never been baptized. And I feel like a completely different person since we have decided that we are going to follow Jesus. And I just feel like it sounds cheesy, but it's like a rebirth. Like I'm a different person than I was a year ago. And I think this is a really great opportunity to do it. And I feel like being able to do it with my husband, who we are really together through everything, I think it's really important that we do this together. My name is Kat, and I'm made new.